so much for that intro, Stephen. Let's give it up for Stephen. Where are my geezers at? Where are my geezers at? Oh, come on. I know there's more of you here than that. Early show and all. I was telling one of my neighbors about the show, and I said, all the performers are over 55. She said, well, you're not over 55. I said, oh, bless your heart, I am. She said, well, what's your secret? I said, well, everybody knows the saying, black don't crack, right? My secret is olive oil don't spoil. A few years ago, everybody was doing their DNA test. I said, I don't need to do my DNA. I know exactly what I'm made of. Sugar, spice, top shelf vodka. That's all you need to know. Then I was scrolling through Groupon one night, and they had one for like 39 bucks. Sold. Did my DNA, got my results. 47% Italian. Okay, that's fine. 20% French. Ooh, a little bit low. 14% Irish. Hold the phone, folks. My entire life, I've been told I was half Italian, quarter Irish, quarter French. Nothing else was ever mentioned. It turns out I am also 13% Scandinavian. 13%, that's a lot. That's like there's an eighth of a Swede residing in this stumpy Dago body. Where is it? I'm not tall, definitely not blonde, and I didn't get those typical gigantic Scandinavian blue eyes. You thought I was going to say boobs. I didn't get those either. I was rocked all the way around, folks. There is nothing here that says Nordic princess. This is more like mafia mistress. Yeah, I'm not going to heaven. Shocker, right? I'm not going to heaven, and I've been told so by a great and powerful authority. The preacher man that used to be on the corner of State and Washington. Everybody know that guy? Older black gentleman out there pretty much on a daily basis was telling us we're all sinners and we're all going to go to hell. One morning I'm passing past preacher man, we locked eyes. He looks at me and says, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven if you have fornicated. And I'm like, buddy, according to you, if you smoked a tobacco cigarette, you're going to go to hell. Well, if that's the case, I've already got a bunch of people down there. It's going to be great. My dearly departed are going to save me a seat at the bar of eternal damnation. And they're going to have an ice cold, extra filthy, dirty Grey Goose martini waiting for me with a never-ending supply of blue cheese stuffed olives. Because in hell, I'm not going to give a shit about my cholesterol. I don't know about you, but that kind of sounds like heaven to me. Once upon a time, I was young and dumb and full of hope. So much hope I was full of. I used to date guys, and I would do things to please them that weren't in my personality to do it, but I did it. Was out with this one guy. We had been dating a couple years. We're out dancing one night. It was summertime. We're on the dance floor. We're hot. We're sweaty. All the women are in like little summer dresses, a lot of skin showing. And all of a sudden, he leans into my ear, and he's like, oh, that chick over there is so hot. And you know what? I am not a crazy, insane person. Well, I am, but that's got absolutely nothing to do with this. I don't care if my man looks at another woman. It doesn't bother me. I don't care where he gets his appetite as long as he eats at home. So I look in the direction he's pointing. I want to see this hot chick. I couldn't tell you one damn thing about her except for the fact it looked like she had Bob Marley in a headlock. This woman had hairy armpits. And I looked at him like, the hairy one over there? He's like, she's so sexy. This is where I got a little bit hurt, you guys, because we've been together a couple years. I'm half Sicilian. I'm a hairy beast. If he would have told me that, I could have done it for him a long time ago. So we go home, and I do what any young woman in love would do. I throw out my razors and my Nair and my Epilady. Remember that Epilady? That thing was a torture device. And I canceled my waxing appointment. In about 3 weeks, I too am sporting a set of Jamaican twins under my arms. And from the waist down, it kind of looks like I'm wearing a black hula skirt. He loved it. He was so enamored of all that hair. He was wrapping it around his head like a turban. He was rolling up in it like a burrito. He loved it. And I hated it. I had never felt more unattractive or repulsive in my entire life. But I kept it up because I'm a good woman for about a month. Came home one night, I'm assessing the situation. I'm like, oh no, this gotta go. So I start shaving. all the way down, all the way down, even a little bit back here, you guys. I was getting the tail. And that night he sees I'm clean shaven. And he's like, what have you done? I'm like, honey, I know it was fun for you. I'm so glad I could do that for you. But you know, it wasn't me. It wasn't who I am. And it's just a little bit of hair. You and me, we're okay, right? And he looked at me, he's like, it was beautiful. And you ruined it. And he left me, you guys. 2 weeks before our wedding, he left me for a lady Sasquatch. Truth. It's all the truth, you guys. Last I heard, she was living in a swamp in Louisiana somewhere with her people. Good place for her. But eventually those two started having problems. She needed a much taller man in order to groom her back hair properly. Those two crazy kids couldn't make it work. What hope is there for the rest of us? I learned 2 really important lessons in that relationship. I learned to always be true to myself and to never ever date outside of my species. I'm gonna get real with you guys. It is not easy being an aging sex pot. God knows I do what I can. But there's some things I just can't do anymore. So I've decided I'm giving up sex and I'm just gonna stick with pot, because it's good for the arthritis. A lot of people talking about they want a stable relationship. Everybody wants a stable relationship, but nobody wants to quit horsing around. All right, well, I think it's pretty obvious from that the edibles have kicked in. So I'm going to get out of here. You guys have been great. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you so much.